Hello, everyone. Welcome back to episode 3 of SoCal Hockey Hotline podcast here. Back with the hockey managers, Vince Vias, myself, Dave Walker, John Meinberger, Dean Wilson. We got a special guest today, our Director of Marketing at the Rinks Great Park Ice, Jesse Chatfield, here to kind of talk to us and discuss some of the things going on with our marketing department during this kind of closure and some of the things that they're doing on their end to help grow the game as we're doing ourselves. So Jesse, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate you guys reaching out and having this forum and starting a new way to gather content and communicate with our customers. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think a big thing is, for us, I know the marketing department, your department has been a big help in helping us get all of our virtual training stuff up and out to our customers and help creating different platforms for us. So I know we all appreciate that. But you want to give us a little kind of a rundown of what's going on, what's new with the marketing department, in the midst of what we're all going through, how are things going on that side, and if there's anything you guys have been working on that maybe you can share with us and the customers.
Yeah, I mean, really a unique time that we're in right now. So with so many question marks, I think really for us, it's trying to find ways to stay engaged with our customers and really using our website as a content hub. And, thanks to you guys for everything you're doing out with the Zoom virtual trainings, the hockey tips, and other pointers that we can have for our customers. So really just trying to gather all that info, share it, and have a place where our customers can still go and get some resources.
Hey, Jesse, would you think that times like this, I know obviously a lot of people are at home and you're in front of the computer or you're in front of your phone. You said earlier that it's unique, but would you assume or think about more people are in front of the screen right now, so utilizing these sites and utilizing these different forms that we're trying to create, it could be impactful in a different way because people are spending more time in front of the screen?
Yeah, true. I mean, I think it's super impactful right now. And I think what we're seeing is the impact that it has, and why wouldn't we be able to, continue these forums on? So, I mean, for me, I think this podcast is only in its infancy stage.
Yeah.
Those Zoom virtual hockey trainings or something that's going to live on. So, it's allowed us to try some new things. And I think those things are here to stay. And, being on those Zoom calls and seeing the level of interaction, it just shows you the community that hockey has. And,
Absolutely.
It brings people together, and some people are in their living rooms, backyards.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see still being able to come together in that virtual environment.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that we've said on almost every piece of our podcast to this point, is just the fact that, how much of a community we really kind of recognize and see how great it is and how tight it is. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the hockey community, and we talk about it all the time, we're so entrenched into it, and it's so big. At times you lose sight when you step outside of the hockey community and realize that it still is somewhat of a niche sport. But I think that's what brings the hockey community so tight together. When you're outside of a rink and you interact with someone with a Kings hat or a Ducks hat or any team, there's just that sense of a community that brings everyone together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's true. Hey, Jess, what was the first involvement with marketing and programming? Like, how did that come about?
Oh, I mean, I was listening to the podcast last week with Hutch, which was awesome. I think you guys touched on it, so I'll try and not replicate what he said, but only build off of it. But It really stemmed from, for me, with the Learn to Play program, and, you know, working with Hutch, who you guys know is just, I mean, so impactful in the hockey world and here in Southern California. He has such a, you know, a broad range of talents. He can, you know, be out on the ice with a brand new participant on their knee. He can step right over and interact with pros on another rink. He can talk with kids, parents. So having someone with, you know, his enthusiasm, his, you know, his ability to develop and his passion for the game, and just working with him to really establish the Learn to Play program and give it time to grow and develop. And then, you know, having such a strong group of owners with Henry and Susan Samueli that are, you know, really focused on growing hockey long term. So being able to give us the foundation to, you know, try these programs and not need to convert or turn a profit, and really just expose more people to the game, was really kind of the catalyst to growth, I think, and what's really kind of build the foundation that we all see right now.
No, yeah, it's true. It's crazy. I mean, like, could you imagine how big it's gotten, like, from beginning to now? Like, can you?
No way. I mean,
you couldn't imagine having to turn people away just because there's too many kids. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, you have to remember, I mean, you guys can all remember, but the time that I got involved in this was when the rinks started. And that's when everything was going in the opposite direction. Rinks were closing, participation numbers were dwindling, especially at that, you know, 8U level, because rinks had focused on travel hockey and some other high-end initiatives and kind of lost focus on the long-term development of things. So to see where it is now, and I mean, I know one of the questions you guys asked Hutch at the end of last was, where is this going to be 25 years from now? You know, because all of the exposure that we have right now it's a lot of first generation hockey players. So, you know, when their kids start playing, I think that's when we're really going to see the growth.
Yeah,
that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
Jesse, I have more of a comment than a question for you. But yeah, the Learn to Play, obviously you and I go back to when we first started at Yorba there, but, you know, it grew the programs. And when you were talking about the rinks closing, I remember those days. It was like trying to get people in the building. And as soon as we started the Learn to Play programs at Yorba, I'm just telling you, the interest was unbelievable. So more of a comment. Hats off to your team and all the marketing and the street team and all that. They do a great job.
Oh, well, thanks, Dino. I mean, it really, I'll throw it back. It's really hats off to you, hats off to everyone on this podcast, and your coaches. Because really what our group does is try and do all the behind the scenes things, get people in the door, deal with budgets, reporting, moving equipment around, all of that stuff. But that's really just designed to get them out onto the ice, and what you guys do to embrace those new participants, develop them, interact with the families. That's where this program really grows. I mean, those individuals are then what go out and bring in new individuals to the sport. So really it's what our coaches do on and off the ice during those 4 weeks and throughout. I mean, these coaches you interact with, you guys know, on first week of Learn to Play also are the coaches that stay involved through initiation.
100%.
They're on the bench for in-house. A lot of them do travel hockey, high school hockey. You develop a tight bond with these coaches, and they're really the reason for both of our programs.
I know we've talked about
go ahead.
I just said, I know we've talked about, you know, through a couple different podcasts, you know, the impact hockey had when Gretzky came to, you know, Los Angeles. What was the impact in the market when, you know, or how was it affected when the Ducks won the Stanley Cup?
Oh, I mean, I think we were starting an upward trajectory there, but that really sparked the flame. you went from more regional focus to some national stuff. You know, building was sold out, a lot of interest in the sport. So that definitely helped. I mean, we talk about Gretzky all the time, but a player that I think made a huge impact in Orange County is Teemu Selanne. I mean,
It's true. Absolutely.
I mean, you guys see him at the rink all the time. He still pops in.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Out.
Yeah.
And his, you know, his enthusiasm for the game, his interaction with the fans, I think that also had a trickle-down effect to the players that are still on the team now. Ryan Getzlaf, Corey Perry, their involvement in the community. You see that now with Cam Fowler, John Gibson, you know, Raquel, all these guys. I feel like every player on our team is involved in the community. And I think, you know, Teemu's commitment to the community and passion to the game has left a strong impact here.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know, one thing I notice is, especially with our, you know, learn to play Little Ducks, we'll get a lot of those alumni that come out, you know, like Jason Marshall, like Sean Pronger, Brian Allen, like those guys are out and they circle around to the rinks, and they're not, you know, they're not just there to be there. Like they're actually involved and engaged and helping. And I think that's a big sign of, you know, people that have been around the area, been around the game, that are, you know, are still excited about it and want to give back. And I think, you know, the marketing team and department putting, you know, really getting those people involved has been a huge help in the overall success for sure.
Yeah, I could agree with you, Dave. What's kind of funny about having those guys out there, you know, they all have a great NHL caliber and they kind of just float around. They're just normal guys, you know. Yeah. We always put an intro in the beginning to try to highlight who they are. And they always say, hey, just leave that out. Maybe some of the kids don't know who they are, you know. They just like to be out there and they just want to give back. So that's pretty inspiring from the level. Yeah. You have that kind of NHL caliber, but yet you just want to be out there just like us and you want to give back to the sport.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty lucky here. We have a lot of alumni that stay local. I mean, because of where
weather.
Yeah.
So, you know, in addition to those guys you mentioned that come out and get on a knee and help out with our grassroots programs, look at the alumni that have been involved with other programs, high school hockey coaching, the junior Ducks with you know, Scott Niedermeyer, Craig Johnson, somebody
Jason Marshall
on your bench. Yeah. It's pretty cool that we have that level of involvement. But I don't think we're unique in that. I think that's kind of the hockey culture, you know, talking to other teams in the league. They have a lot of NHL alumni involvement that stay current and want to give back to the game that they love. So it's good to see that all around in the hockey community.
Yeah. I got a question. You guys do such a great job of not just introducing the game of hockey to the brand new adult player or youth player, but you know, we've done stuff with Warrior Hockey. We've done stuff with the visually impaired. You know, there's so many different facets of sled hockey that you guys as marketing are involved in and pushing and trying to open as many doors as possible for as many people as possible to come in and really enjoy the game. Can you kind of like talk about the importance of your department and what you guys are doing in that initiative to really open every door and give everybody the opportunity, regardless of circumstances, the opportunity to get on the ice and, you know, and be part of the game?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think our goal overall, and again, it kind of stems from our owners, executive team, all the way down, is really to have programming available for any age and ability and disability. That we have some type of event program, regular you know, sessions where participants can take part in the game that we love. So yeah, I mean, recently we've started, you know, we do special hockey, both on and off the ice. We do sled hockey down in Poway, up here at Great Park now. special hockey throughout the region. So we do that down in Poway as well as up here in Orange County, starting a warrior hockey program for military veterans, blind hockey.
Top flight.
I mean,
Yeah.
you name it, we
Yeah.
got it. And
Yeah.
if there's not a program for someone, we will,
We'll create
try
one,
and
yeah.
find a way
Yeah.
to add it to the
And
repertoire.
that's
I think
mean,
It's awesome.
I think
Yeah.
there's what's special about it, right? Like we always talk about it. If you want to try the sport and you want to be involved at whatever capacity and whatever level, there's something for you, right? And we pride ourselves on that, because people always ask us on a daily basis, like, oh, I'm new or I'm this or I'm that. Like, can I get in? We're like, yeah, we have something for you. Like, we really do. We have something for anyone who wants to embark on that journey of hockey. Like, we're there for you, and we'd love to get you part. And that's, that's a big
And people appreciate that.
your group.
yeah.
They love that, right? They love to have, know that, everyone's kind of looking out and trying to figure out ways to make sure it's, hockey's for everyone. And it's awesome to see.
Yeah, I mean, we totally embrace that as an organization and feel like hockey is for everyone. And you guys know, the impact it has on the ice, but it really goes far beyond that with the impact that it has for participants off the ice as well. I mean, you look at the Declaration of Principles and all of the, long lasting, development that happens through, teamwork and confidence building and interacting with others and things that this game brings to you beyond just inside the confines of the rink.
Yeah, we always talk.
Yeah, that reminds me of the words. Remember, Jesse, the words of the week?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right when you brought that up, it reminded me of the words of the week. Go ahead, John.
Oh, no, I was just saying, we always talk about, hockey, which is a small part, which Jesse kind of was elaborating on. I mean, that's our ultimate goal and that's our passion. But I think in return, we're really building, great people and great, great people and, doctors and lawyers and, whatever it may be. But, those life lessons will continue to build on just through the game of hockey and the lessons. So.
Yeah, agreed.
Jesse, I got another one for you because all the positives. What are some of the challenges you have? Now, I could probably answer equipment. I know that's a big one and all that, getting place to place. But what's probably the biggest challenge when you have to learn to plays? Not to mention being one at Irvine, one at Yorba the same day. Besides that,
I mean, believe it or not, and a great problem to have, but supply to keep up with the demand.
Right.
And really, like, Dino and everyone, we talk about it, and we don't want to just introduce new people and not have programming for them to do. So if
right.
When we look at available ice, it's not that, oh, I found an hour of available ice. It's got to lead into the next steps, and there's got to be room.
Yeah.
So doing it the right way, and like I said, good problem to have that the demand outweighs the supply currently.
Right.
Yeah.
It's true.
Jesse, I know for us, we rely on each other a lot for bouncing ideas and, questions and whatnot off each other in terms of our hockey programming and whatnot with our coaches. Who are some of the people within your group that you kind of rely on and lean on in times of making decisions for programs and whatnot?
Oh man, good question. So there's a lot that comes into play. I mean, the NHL is involved in some of our programmings. There's a thing called the Industry Growth Fund. So with that, it's through the NHL and the Players Association where they give money back to programming that's designed to help grow the game. So that comes involved. So that factors into our Little Ducks programming. As well as just working with our community relations department, who through the Anaheim Ducks Foundation funds some of our front end programming. So having those, guidelines and budgets to work with are usually a starting point, but really then it comes down to, having conversations with you guys and our staff that's on the front line, Hutch that we talk to, who's a great resource, and I'm lucky enough to have an office right next to him and be able to pick his brain at any time. But really just figuring out what things at this point, what can we do to even make this program even better? So really, there's a lot of people that are involved in the program, and we like to involve a lot of people on the front end. So making sure that decisions we make in an office are in line with what you guys are dealing with on the front end.
Jesse, would you agree that, you know, when we talk about building hockey players, there's even another tier of that, and that's just building hockey fans? You know, we always talk about in a lot of our meetings that through our programming, you know, we offer the opportunity to try the sport. Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't in the long term. But in return with that, you have families who really are like, that's great that the Ducks were involved in giving them the opportunity, so they start to build a passion for the company and for the organization. So in return, like I was just trying to say in a long-winded, but in return is going to build lifelong Ducks fans essentially.
Yeah. I mean, that's where all of this really started, I think, with the rinks and keeping rinks open and expanding the market was, you know, to keep the sport alive, to develop fans, develop future, you know, ticket buyers and you know, viewers of Ducks games. So yeah, that's definitely a component. We focus on participation and following that retention a lot, you know, because there's a lot of statistics that go into participants are, you know, a higher level of fandom to some degree.
Yeah.
But it's a win for us when we expose someone to the game, because everyone, I feel like, leaves Learn to Play or some of our one-off initiatives with a smile and having a good time. Whether they stick with the game or not, it makes an impact. And it might not be for them, but they're telling, you know, neighbors and friends about the program. They're tuning into the game. They can appreciate the skill that's involved now after trying it. It's you know, it's something cool to say that you did as well. So sharing that in the community. And I think our approach as an organization is to, you know, touch the community in different ways. And participation is just one of those, but community relations, you know, hospital visits, being involved in the schools, inside curriculum, all of that stuff plays a big part in establishing this hockey ecosystem that we're building here.
Yeah. Now you talk about being impactful in different things and different avenues that marketing has gone through to really expose people to the game. Is there something in your time, you know, working here, has there been one thing that you can think back that you look at and think that was, I don't want to say the most impactful, but something that really registers with you that you remember as, you know, you very proud of, it stands out more maybe than some of the others that you just have, I guess, more feelings towards, I guess. I don't know what the exact verbiage I'm trying to look for.
Well, I don't know if you guys seen Jesse on the ice, but he's a rock star when he gets on the ice. I've seen him do it in a long time.
I guess it's what is there
Anyone that
anything
has seen me on the ice knows that's a lie, Dean.
I'm talking about your teaching skills.
So, I mean, I hate to kind of go back to it again, but I'll talk about two programs. One, well, both of them are I'm personally vested in. But the first one being Learn to Play and having just a huge impact. And then just, there's been some steps along the way with that have really been catalysts to growth. So early on, you know, getting a sponsor, our first sponsor was Reebok with that program. And the reason that they made sense was at the time they were involved in both ice and roller hockey. So it allowed us to do the program in our inline facilities and our ice facilities. So having a sponsor commit to that and see the long-term or the growth that it could develop into was a huge first step. The next big step was when Ryan Getzlaff and Corey Perry came involved in that program, and it really took down that next hurdle to start playing, which was the equipment costs. And purchasing equipment for the program. And at that time, Bauer also got involved and added to that commitment level. And then the third big growth was when the NHL got involved with the Little Ducks program and really allowing us to expand the programming even further. So to me, that's really been a program that's been the catalyst to the foundational growth, because we're seeing a lot of those players that started 10 years ago in that program compete, high level junior Ducks, OC Hockey Club, Anaheim Ducks High School Hockey League. And then another program that I think was really our first step into the Hockey is for Everyone programming is our Top Flight program, which started in 2013 as just a special needs street hockey program. And it's now developed into, street hockey, ice hockey, learn to skate, another program down in Poway. So that's really like opened our eyes into, impacting others that didn't have the ability to play.
Yeah, I think one of the cool things is you mentioned earlier, but it's kind of like my little end segment is just, we appreciate you guys so much. And, as much as we're on the ice and you say that, a lot of the things that we do, are impactful to their journey. I mean, it's cool to work with your group and with your team. A lot of the staff that you have, we have special relationships because we deal with them on a daily basis as well. So, we appreciate everything on your guys' end, because without you guys, there's really no opportunity for us in some ways. So,
No, definitely.
Yeah, thank you. And shout out to the group that does a lot of the stuff behind the scenes in the rink, in the, gear tunnel, getting all those things ready. But, really a huge group effort on the programming that we run across the organization. You guys know, we have such a great group of employees. They're all passionate about the sport. They all want to help grow the game. So it makes it easy when you got a good group of individuals to work with.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's true.
Absolutely.
Very
Absolutely.
true.
Well, guys, I think we're at that time again. Jess, we want to say thank you, for coming on and sharing some insight behind the marketing and programming and whatnot. And as John said just now, we just want to say thank you to your team for all the stuff that they do to help and make our lives a little bit easier with programming as well. So definitely let them all know that we're appreciative of everything they do, and thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks, Jesse.
Well, thanks again, guys, for having me. Thanks again for launching this awesome forum that I can't wait to see what comes from it. And thanks again for all you guys do.
No
Thanks, Jesse.
No problem.
Right.
And to our viewers and listeners, next episode 4 next week, we've got a special guest. We've got former NHL player, Anaheim Duck player Craig Johnson, current Junior Ducks director of coaches, that will be joining us to kind of discuss, are we doing enough as hockey players, in this time, and what we need to be doing as players to continue to progress. So check that out next week. So everyone have a good weekend, and we'll see everyone soon.